Morning.
Hi, so it's the police.
You want my son Michael, I think.
Michael.
Yeah, come on. Michael. Yeah. Oh, there you are. Right.
Hi, Michael, it's the
Hello.
police.
Oh, hi. Have you got your body cam on?
Yes, I can put that on now.
Good.
There you go, you do that, that means it's on.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
So go in there, please.
Go in the side room?
Yeah. Not well. Okay. Right. Okay. Right, this is the fourth report now in 2 days or so. All similar problems. Neighbour next door is continuing to violate the terms of the ASB notice. In so doing, trespassing, damaging goods, poking things, destroying things, generally being a nuisance.
Yeah.
The latest thing I've just discovered this morning, but having reviewed CCTV, I believe it happened about half an hour after the other event which happened yesterday.
Okay.
So, so that's the problem, that's the situation.
So what has happened exactly?
So, what has happened...
That you want to report today?
So, it's sort of related. So, yesterday, the report was made for this one, but yesterday, I went outside to do some gardening, watering the flowers, etc. Next door neighbour wasn't in the garden, no business in the garden, hasn't been in the garden all day. When he sees me at the end of the garden, near the boundary where the wildflowers are, where you can actually see me, he suddenly comes out, you can hear him storm down the lawn, and then he starts talking to me about why have I got these things, why have I got that thing, what's this thing for. I just ignore him. Anyway, so I come back inside, I think that's the end of it. But what actually happened half an hour after that was he came out to check I wasn't around, then went down the end with a big stick and poked and smashed more of my equipment.
You saw him do this?
I do not see him do it personally, I'm blind. Okay. It's on the CCTV footage.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one event is clearer than the other, but they're both the same basic idea.
Sure.
You can see him just at the corner of the fence, through the block out, with a stick going...
And what was he damaged?
Yesterday he damaged a ultrasonic pest repeller which was on charge, and he's stolen another defunct pest repeller just in storage in the same location.
And was that what you've already reported?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, and following that...
You've noticed there was something else that was damaged?
Yes, so following that incident, and then the following incident when he did the same thing down the end. So he did two things this end, one thing down that end, and now I've discovered a new event down that end.
Are we talking to the right hand side of the garden?
Oh, no, left.
Left?
Yes, that side.
Okay.
Right, would it help if I show you photographs of what things were, or do you want to see?
So you've reported what you've reported so far. What is it that you haven't told us about? What was damaged that you haven't told us about already? Sorry.
Yes, so the new thing I've discovered is that equipment down the end, which was perfectly fine during the altercation yesterday when I was doing the flowers, I've now discovered is completely in a different location, and one part of it is broken. That is the new event.
And what is the item that's broken?
There's the item which is broken, which is a solar panel.
Okay.
Where is that? Is it out there?
Yeah. You mean, do you want to see it?
In a second. And you've got that on CCTV?
Sort of.
Okay.
I mean, we've got the... So, we've got the aftermath. We've got him with a stick poking things, but we haven't got him actually hitting it in that occasion.
Okay.
All right, let's go and have a look then at what we're looking at, and then perhaps you can show us the CCTV afterwards.
Yeah. my navigation points. Okay, so the solar panel is now here. I've prepared everything.
Sure.
So it's not as it was left. I've got photographs of that. That is meant to have a cap on it.
Right.
It's been broken off. The wires had been disconnected, and this is now slightly bent. It shouldn't be that shape. It should be completely straight. Anyway, basically these were here in this sort of configuration. This was found over here.
Right.
This was found all the way over here.
Okay.
And there's no way that could have happened naturally.
And it's just this flat one that's damaged.
In this occasion, yes.
Because there was a cap on the back and it's slightly bent.
There's a cap in the back which is now missing.
Sure.
The wires connecting it to the power supply have become dislodged, so it's non-functional.
Okay.
So it has been physically damaged, altered.
What is all the equipment for, Michael?
So, right. Long story. Due to repeated flights and dumping of household waste in the nature reserve by my neighbour, we've had a dramatic increase in rats and other pests. So, this one is for foxes.
Oh, and is it the ones that submit like a noise to scare them off?
Yeah.
Right.
That one's for foxes, and that one's for cats. And you just see, because I've prodded it, it's activated.
Yeah.
It's motion activated, they don't give up all the time, just put it in. I mean, look, that's what we are.
Okay.
And this guy next door is a paranoid SOB, and he thinks all this stuff is somehow...
Paranoid what, sorry?
Sorry?
So what do you call him?
An SOB.
Oh.
I mean, I could use other language, but that's not important right now. So that is the most recent thing, which I've just discovered today.
Okay.
I didn't know that these had been disturbed. When I came up here, when he talked to me yesterday, these were as I'd left them.
Right.
And after that, half an hour later, he came out and then the logical inference.
With Michael, without sounding like I'm being rude to you in any way, because I'm not. My understanding is you've got problems with your eyesight, yeah?
Yes.
Are you completely blind?
I'm registered severely sight impaired.
Okay.
Blindness is like a scale.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are just black and white blobs to me.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I've got a rough idea of what's going on, but
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean,
What I'm getting at is that you said that yesterday they were where they were and they were in place. Did you physically see them yesterday, and are you able to say that they were definitely where they were supposed to be yesterday?
I didn't need to see them because I was out here doing the watering, and as I was doing the watering, I came around here, so I just felt everything like I normally do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what I do.
Okay. And you say you've got CCTV footage, sort of him.
Well, the logical inference is it must have been what happened, because you see him with a stick going poke, poke, poke. There's no other reason for him to do anything like that, and the only thing he could be poking at with these. So by inference, yes, but we don't actually have an image of him hitting it.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's going to be the struggle, really. Is the fact that.
But I have got other CCTV of him physically taking devices and physically hitting them
And that's
on a
what
different
you've
occasion.
reported before, yeah?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, given he's already done that, it is more plausible than not, even though I haven't got an image of him doing it.
Yeah.
I mean.
So what will happen is, I think your report that you done on the 8th, about the initial stuff that you'd reported, that's not been allocated to an officer yet.
So I've done so many of these.
No.
Which one was that one?
So
the pesticide one.
The pesticide. I mean,
there's the most recent report that we've got from you hasn't been allocated to an officer yet.
Yes,
What we're going to do is we're going to speak to your local S&T officer and try and allocate everything and get them to look at everything as a whole.
Yeah, that would be helpful. But I have a complaint and dispute raised against Sandra Wood, who is the.
She's not a PC anyway. She's a PC on side.
So she won't be investigating it.
Yeah, well, because the same evidence team, I associate that with her.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah. Well, she's not a police officer. She's a community support officer. So they don't investigate crime as such.
I didn't do anything. We don't appear to have any function.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're basically response team officers.
Okay.
So we respond to 999 calls. This has come through as one of our calls to come to today. So what we'll do is we'll update the existing report that's on with the information you've provided with us, and then we'll send an email to the team that should be dealing with it.
Yeah, because had I found this yesterday, it would have been part of the report for yesterday.
Okay,
so,
perfect.
Yeah.
No.
So we'll make sure that it gets highlighted to them, and then they'll probably contact you hopefully in the next few days. At the moment, I don't know if you're listening to the news, we've got a lot of work going on up London with all the protests. So a lot of people have been abstracted to go up London to help with the protests. So there's not as many of us here.
Fair enough. But this is another step in a chain.
No, of course.
So this is another step in a chain of a long-running campaign of disability-related harassment, torture, and torment. I mean,
I'm not.
I've already waited a year to talk.
I'm not playing it down in any way. I know. Just want to. I want your expectations to now be that you might not hear for a couple of days, maybe a week.
I'm going away for the rest of the week anyway to look after my niece.
Okay.
Which is fun anyway. So I've waited a year to get this guy sorted out. I'm not willing to cobble over another week. I mean, it's fine.
I just can't give you an exact time frame.
Fine.
But someone will be in contact with you. It's just when.
Fine.
But we'll make sure it's updated, and we add on the existing stuff today. What you've told us. Is there anything else?
I think everything's now been reported.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everything's now been reported, but there's so much to happen.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep it all straight.
No, I appreciate that. It's not the nicest thing even when you've got to live next door to it.
I mean, I've got notes I've made. Do you want to see those? I might help you.
To be honest, it'll probably help the people that are gonna actually deal with it. We'll update the report so it's up to date and there's a full history of what's happened, and then the investigating officer, when they get allocated it, they'll be able to see what's what, and then they'll know straight away what they want from you and what they want to see. And then that's probably the best way for us to proceed with it.
I mean, I'd just like to mention that, not knowing exactly what happened, because of the CCTV, we have a very good, reasonable suspicion as to what happened.
Yeah.
Because of that, I do not think he entered the property.
Yeah.
But I don't know he didn't, and I'm now a bit.
Yeah. The only trouble is where's the CCTV camera attached to the house?
So there are 3 out here because of the torment and torture and all that sort of stuff. There is one here, which doesn't quite get the right angle, you see.
Yeah.
I mean, we get the sound of it hitting. I've got another angle where you can just see him poking over a stick about where the shed is.
Yeah.
But not him actually hitting it.
Yeah.
Because it's just.
So the other thing we'd need to probably rule out is if the fact that there weren't any animals that might have climbed over it or something.
Oh no, I've done that.
Yeah.
I mean, this camera sees everything coming into the garden.
Yeah.
And we know where the boxes come from. We know where the cats. That's why I've missed location. I know where things come from.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. But wasn't foxes, wasn't cats, wasn't rodents doing that. And there's no way rodents could physically. I mean, this looks like physically, that is in the ground. It's over here. How do you do that?
Yeah, fair enough.
And I've got other video evidence of him physically smashing things.
Yeah.
So it is reasonable assumption that it was him.
Yeah.
It could have been anyone else. I mean, it's indirect evidence, but what can I do? I mean, I can't put CCTV everywhere.
No,
I appreciate that.
So we've got that camera there.
Yeah.
There's
2 on the house, isn't there?
No.
1 on the house.
No. So if you go back the other way, please. Okay. I'll try and point them all out to you. So, looking at the house. Yeah. Above the window, slightly to the left. Back. Slightly to the left. The difference, slightly to the right of that. On the shed here. In the corner. Oh, look at the back door. Yeah, the back door. On the shed here, in the corner, there's a camera.
Oh, looking at the back door,
Looking at the back door, yeah. So we have 2 cameras here, 1 camera there. 3 in total out here.
Okay.
There's a burglar alarm up there on the far right hand side. I'll just show you. Now, that camera caught the other events, already reported he literally reaches over, takes one device, and then gets his stick and smashes the other one. That is quite clear.
Have you got the device back?
No,
No.
no, it's stolen.
Okay.
One device I have, which is beyond repair.
Okay.
Got photographs of it. I mean, do you want to see the photographs or any of that? I mean, or is that
No, let's
something
go
else?
inside and then.
One step.
If you've got the photographs, we'll have a quick look and then
Okay.
we can
I
update
think,
it.
I think my phone's got the photographs.
Yeah, sorry, you can ask him if you want.
Father, have you got this photograph? Yeah, have you got one? See if you can get now. Yeah, just do some photographs. You can show the officer's photograph. Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. You're going for always in blue. Okay, so I suppose it's not blue anymore, but anyway. This was the looking from the gazebo going backwards.
Yeah.
So that was this one lying down here,
Okay.
and the other one is actually just out of sight up here.
Mm-hmm.
And the next photograph is from the other direction, showing the one that was you couldn't see.
Yeah, and that's the one that's supposedly damaged.
Yeah. And yes, the solar panel is damaged. And that one, yeah. The two devices appear to be okay.
Okay.
The other device which was damaged, and another device which was stolen.
Have you spoken to him at all?
We're not allowed to, and I don't want to anyway. There's an ASB notice against him, and for some reason against me as well. So, even if I wanted to, I wouldn't. So,
Okay.
no.
In the past, though?
No. He's always been aggressive, overly aggressive, intimidating,
Yeah.
threatening. I've no interest in speaking to him or engaging him at all anyway.
Okay.
Every time I've done so, he has been abusive, called me some very disgusting things,
Sure.
and written some very disgusting things about me on social media. And it's an endless list, but that's not important right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
so,
We'll update the report, and then hopefully you should hear in the next week or so something from them.
would you like to see the damage to the other device? Is that helpful? I don't know.
I mean, I've got a gist of what's happened.
Okay.
I think that's something.
Okay.
That's more evidence that can be obtained.
Right.
As long as you've got it or you've got pictures of it, that's fine.
Yeah, I
keep
mean,
hold of the
just
CCTV
keep hold of
as
them.
well.
I've run out of storage space. I've got so much evidence of
Yeah.
things happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got
Just try and keep anything safe, just so it's all
500
there.
gigabytes of stuff. I mean, it's just.
Mm.
Can you guys tell me something?
Sure.
Now, I've got all this evidence, okay, and the Safer Neighbourhoods team saying I can't put it on OneDrive, I can't put it on YouTube. They want to come here with a USB stick.
Mm.
Is that normal? I mean, I've reported other crimes, such as fly tipping, and I've been sent a link to the evidence portal where
Yeah.
there's upload stuff.
They might not know how to do that, but ask them.
I mean, I've asked them twice, and they've ignored me completely.
Yeah, I mean, ask them again when you speak to them and see what they say. I will make sure that when we email them, we'll put that in there about that.
Because I'm concerned about that.
Yeah.
I'm worried that they don't want to use the evidence portal because once that's done, they can't edit it or delete it or amend it.
No, I wouldn't say that. I think
at all.
so. The portal thing that you're talking about,
It's quite a new thing.
yeah,
I
not a
mean,
lot of people know how to use it properly yet. And I mean, I didn't know myself that we could do it properly until not that long ago.
Mm.
So I think a lot of people are still learning how to
Okay.
use the systems
I
and
mean,
stuff.
I've mentioned it in name, I've told them how to find out about it, they've ignored it, and the reason why I say that isn't because I'm paranoid, it is
Yeah.
one of the officers has. The reason why I have plasma warning is because he took a still of CCTV footage, which I gave him as evidence for crime.
Yeah.
He took one corner of it, blew it up, to make it look like my CCTV was looking into their windows, and then said, I've got an ASBO for freedom of privacy.
Yeah.
And that is not in keeping with...
Wait, sorry, when you say ASB, was it an ASB
an
warning?
ASB notice, they keep calling it.
Okay.
A warning? Is it warning or notice?
Did you get any paperwork?
Yeah, we did, I think, yeah. I mean,
I mean, they're right. They're right in what they're saying, because I don't know, because I've not spoken to Nextdoor. I've never met either of you. But I'm guessing from the way you're describing it, perhaps that obviously you've got an issue with them for whatever reason, but they maybe also have an issue with all the equipment you've got in the garden. Perhaps I'm just sounding out here.
Yeah,
Perhaps they've got maybe a view of their privacy is being invaded a little bit.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, but the reason why these cameras are there, they weren't there until I installed the system. I installed it because it was been abusive, aggressive, and everyone said, oh, you haven't got any evidence.
Yeah.
So I installed the system correctly according with all specifications, there's proper signage and everything.
Yeah.
It is categorically not invaded by privacy beyond what is absolutely required for legal purposes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a crime to record images and sounds for the purpose of detection and prevention of crime. I only retain images and video of specific crimes and events.
Yeah.
It is not ubiquitous, it is not stored, it is not online all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no issue. That's not the problem. The problem is, a police officer took a piece of evidence I gave him of a crime and then manipulated it to make it look like I was invaded by privacy.
Again, a piece of evidence might show one thing, but it might also show another.
Yeah.
So, just because you've provided that evidence, it doesn't mean it can't be used against you.
Well, in this case, there's nothing to use against me. The only reason why it became an issue, he blew it up so big, it's all pixelated, it's obviously what he's done.
Mm-hmm.
And in real life, you cannot get any detail, you can't see anything, there's literally no invasion of privacy possible.
Yeah.
It's not a high definition system, it's properly blacked out. The only reason why that image existed was because I needed to show the evidence that he lit a bonfire and was feeding it next to the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
So because I had to do that for one instance, for one specific legal reason, I took off one of the privacy screens. That is why you can see anything at all.
Okay.
There's a specific reason explained in detail as to why that was done.
Yeah.
It was only done because the crime has been committed. It is not how the system is configured. The camera isn't looking at anything. It's nonsense. It really is. I mean, I know where you guys are coming from. I'm just saying.
Again, I've this is the first time I've come across you, so I don't know the full story.
Yeah.
We will make sure all that's updated.
Yes.
Email the SNC.
Yeah, we'll ask them to contact you.
Yeah.
And then go from there. All right.
Okay. Is there anything else I can do that might help?
Sorry.
Is there anything else I can do that may help you?
I mean, I think you're doing everything you can
Yeah,
do.
definitely. You've got the cameras up. That's going to catch him out at some
Just
point.
avoid contact still, which you've been doing.
And that tends to escalate his activities.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a catch-22. Obviously, don't want to engage with him. Obviously, I've put measures in place to protect myself from further interference.
Or perhaps maybe some sort of mediation between you all.
No, that's never going to work.
Okay.
No, we've so past that.
Yeah.
It's, another crime is committed, which they refuse to investigate, is basically identity theft and misrepresentation. He went onto Rightmove and entered in all my details and put our house up for valuation, causing about a month of aggravation by proxy. He gave my father's telephone number, which no one else would have, his business number. He can't just ignore that number. So he flooded my father's business number with all of these inquiries from every estate agent in a 10-mile radius.
Sure.
Because his properties are quite valuable. You know, nice area, blah, blah, blah. I did it, the SAR with Rightmove. The evidence they gave me made it very clear that it was Jack that did it.
Okay.
Because of reasons. I mean, his phone number used can't be disclosed to me because it's not mine. I mean, it's pretty obvious. The police then investigated themselves, traced the IP address back to him. It was definitely him who did it. It's misrepresentation, it's fraud, computer misuse, and harassment by proxy. And they did nothing about it apart from issue him with an ASBO, noticed like I have got for doing nothing. I mean,
for fraud though, there's got to be some sort of financial gain or gain to the person
no, yeah.
for an offence to be complete.
Yeah, so that is.
Whereas,
yeah, so,
I'd argue that there's not going to be any real gain for him, is there?
so the strict definition you're talking about is criminal fraud, i.e., he must financially gain from what he did.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm talking about is civil fraud, where
In which case, it wouldn't be for us to take action.
Yeah.
Which is why it's probably been dealt with via antisocial behaviour legislation.
But also, it's computer misuse, which is criminal. It's misrepresentation, which is criminal. I mean,
I don't know where it would fall in, but there's certain criteria have to be.
Yeah.
I don't know the full legislation off by heart, so
like,
I'd have to look into.
Like
But what I'm getting at
sections.
is that it's come all this way now. You've both got ASBOs. It's just carrying on. Perhaps you do need to draw a line under the bridge, and you do need some sort of mediation between you. Perhaps you both need to just let bygones be bygones and forget about the past and just start fresh.
Well, we've done...
Which I know is not the easiest thing, especially when you're victim to certain things and you've had things broken or stolen. I know that's not the nicest or easiest thing, but sometimes that fresh start might actually benefit both of you because you'll be able to go forward, as opposed to digging a deeper hole, if you get what I mean.
Up until the point when he publicly called me a paedophile and then wrote the same things about me online, personally identifying me as a paedophile, up until that point I was willing to go to mediation.
Sure.
But after that, you can't go back. I mean, that's it's no. I mean, it's just not. I haven't left my house by myself for 5 months because I'm afraid to.
Yeah.
I've got no productive life. I'm socially isolated, and I'm not just willing to say, "Oh well, let's just move on."
Yeah.
And it's come too far. I'm sorry, but it has.
No,
I've got permanent hearing damage, and I'm blind. I've been driven to suicide. I've had voices. I've had hallucinations. I've been gassed in my own room. I've been poisoned. You name it. I can't just walk away from this.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I mean,
we will speak to. I don't know the full picture.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that the S&T officers are going to know a lot more.
They're going to be more aware.
we'll have a better picture.
Yeah, exactly.
I
So
have a very dim view of them, but-
we'll pass everything over to them, and hopefully they'll be in contact the next week or so. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I've got very low expectations of DSNT, but at every stage they've tried to make this not a problem.
Yeah.
Every time they've said, that's not a crime, that's not a crime, that's not a crime, that's not a crime, we're not supposed to get this, it's not in public interest.
Yeah.
He jumps my fence, okay, and the result of DSNT was, oh boy, you had to prove it's your fence. Now,
He did what?
he damaged our fence,
Yeah.
okay, criminal damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw it happen. We've got video of him doing it several times. When the S&T came here, they literally went next door and watched him do it again. Literally, they've got video camera footage of their body cams of him further damaging our fence. Their response was, well, you can't prove it's your fence. All the fences found here all work the same way. It's a standard legal concept. Unless there's another thing documented, the left-hand fence is yours.
Sure.
That is how it works.
Well, you need. Have you got like a copy of deeds to prove that?
But that's not on the deeds. But that's not how that works.
It does.
It's not on the land registry, and it might. Have
It
been-
should be. It should be in the deeds.
It will be on his deeds because he did a what do you call it? Completion recently.
Yeah.
But we've lived here for 40 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just purely as a matter of law, you only get markings on the deeds for freehold property in constructed estates in the modern era. The old ones never bothered.
Okay.
Right.
And the tradition was always left-hand one belongs to the house.
Yeah. I'm gonna. There's probably some sort of legal.
Yeah, but the two neighbours that way will say they've repaired the same fence left-hand side. Neighbours beyond will say it. The neighbours beyond that will say it. Every single house down this road will tell you the same thing.
Yeah.
And I've got the email trail from when I had that fence built.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's
not,
physically.
it's just not an issue.
No.
He knows it's not his fence.
The only reason I say that is because it's hard for us to
I know.
Yeah,
But
bolt down
just
something
say-
if there's not something in writing.
Yeah, but we
It says
can say
otherwise.
it and we can support it by any evidence you like.
Yeah.
But you can't do it from the deeds because the deeds don't show it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
This house was built back in the day when we just did not record stuff like this.
Yeah.
and the but he, when he bought the place, or when his father-in-law bought it for him, would have had the property details from the guy who was the executor of the estate, who we know perfectly well, and he would have told him exactly the same thing in those property details. So it's not that he doesn't know.
I mean,
And
we've got.
he will say anything he likes to make his story sound true, and then time after time, like for example, he says he's got endless stories of Michael abusing him on next door. When challenged,
So
find
he
one.
next door.
Yeah, yeah.
Find one.
Yeah.
And the only one you can find is the one before we knew who he was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he cannot be trusted to say anything.
So my point is, SNT are not.
So I've been a lawyer for 50 years.
That's all
No,
right.
no worries, you're good.
Yes. So I'm just saying that, you know, my experience with SNT is that they want to believe everything he says at face value, and everything I say must be questioned, and they've driven me to tears, they've driven me to medical intervention with their aggressive and inappropriate questioning and their interrogatory tactics against a victim of crime. I mean,
We'll highlight it
Yeah.
and then go from there. There's not anything we can do right this second.
I know, but best example, PC Fro, who I have a complaint against, still processing that one.
Is he
Okay.
on the SNT?
SNT, yes, he came here in plain clothes, and he said to me that my neighbour had said I've recorded over the fence. I said to him categorically several times, I've never done that.
You done what? Sorry.
Held my phone over the fence and recorded him. I've never done that. Can't do that. Not possible to do that. From my vantage point, physically not possible. It's a 6-foot high fence. How would I do that? Anyway, because he disbelieved Jack's allegation that I recorded over the fence, he kept saying, well, you recorded over the fence, didn't you? Like I said, I didn't. And I said, I can prove I didn't by looking at the video footage I took. You can see I didn't.
Sure.
His response was, well, you could have deleted the videos where you did. I mean, the whole interaction was like that. It was accusatory. It was twisting things around to make it sound like there's nothing. But that's my best example, because that's so inappropriate. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
I mean, so if I have the evidence, I'm guilty. If I don't have the evidence, I'm guilty. If there's evidence that doesn't suit them, I could have deleted it. I mean, it's not appropriate.
Yeah. Again, I don't know the full
of course
picture.
you don't. I know you don't. but
I'll pass on what's been said.
Yeah. I'm just
And
giving you
then-
examples of how I've been mistreated.
Sure.
I feel very, very bad about the SNT. I feel
When did you
grieved
make
by
that
them.
complaint about, was it PZ Trow?
Yeah, PC Pro. Yeah.
Trow.
Oh, sorry.
When did you make that complaint? Steve?
Back in November.
Okay, so that's still ongoing?
Yeah. Yes. I haven't done it for timely manner either. I've just got the response back from the investigation officer, and it's literally a pack of lies. The response I got back is literally one lie after another.
Okay.
I mean, it's proof. I mean, so in his response, he says, I admitted to recording over the neighbour's fence. I never did that. I categorically denied every
Sure.
time he said that. He says the reason he came in plain clothes was because he didn't want to alert my neighbour.
Mm-hmm.
Now that is untrue, because after seeing me, he went next door to my neighbour to talk to him.
Okay.
Now, if that was the case, that makes no sense. And I've got evidence he did that, because I have a rude text from Jack Connell saying, who are those two men at my front door? So, and we know he did it, and he said he was going to do it.
Hmm.
So, the first sentence is a lie, and it
Okay.
gets worse from there. Not your problem. I'm just saying that I have very good reason to be very distrustful of their abilities and their competence.
Sure.
And if there's some way I can get the real police, you guys, to do this instead of them, I'd like that.
Well, the trouble is that
Because this falls
gets
under
dealt
a neighbour
by,
dispute,
by
it falls to the
said
neighbour
neighbour
dispute.
team. Unfortunately, I'm a response officer.
Yeah.
I have to go to 999 calls.
Yeah.
I can't physically manage going to
Yeah.
999 calls and doing this. It just wouldn't work.
Yeah, but the SNT not fit for purpose is my problem.
Yeah, I mean that's something you're. If they don't get moving, that's something you'll potentially have to make a complaint
I haven't
about.
done it.
Yeah, that's the only. I know it's hard,
Really?
but
I've got 3 outstanding right now
yeah,
because of, but every instance where they've been involved, they've literally, measurably made the situation worse.
yeah.
I mean, just last week, there was a package delivered to him in error. We didn't get the opportunity to not accept it, which is on the doorstep. We didn't want to take it down there. They didn't want to come here for obvious reasons. Sandra Wood from SMT came round. It should have been really simple. Here's package, take package, give package, done. But what happened was Charlotte, the wife, then used that opportunity to make up some nonsense about an alarm in our loft. Her duty at that point was to say, is there any immediate threat, is there any danger? No, not my problem. She did not do that. She took that complaint at face value. Nothing could be heard. She couldn't hear anything. She admits that nothing could be heard. Her story later was that, it was a welfare check for nobody living next door, which doesn't make any sense, because if true, that is dereliction of her duty, because why would you waste time coming to see us when you've got a report from your immediate neighbour or an elderly frail lady or an alarm going off? I mean, it's a lie. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
I mean
There might be information that you're not privy to. I don't know.
Yeah, but her statements and her emails are in conflict with the recorded evidence I have of that event. And then she comes back and says, I'm invading her privacy by recording audio. But invading privacy is not a crime. I mean, anyway, sorry, I'm wasting your time now. Yeah.
No worries. We'll leave you to it. We'll update them anyway, so hopefully you should hear something soon. Okay?
Thank you. I'm sorry to waste so much of your time.
That's all right.
I mean, it's so much.
A second.
I know, but best example, PC Throw, who I have a complaint against, still processing that one.
Was he
Came-
on the SNT?
SNT, yes, he came here in plain clothes, and he said to me that my neighbour had said I've recorded over the fence. I said to him categorically several times, I've never done that.
You done what, sorry?
Held my phone over the fence and recorded him. I've never done that, can't do that, not possible to do that. From a vantage point, physically not possible, it's a 6 foot high fence. How would I do that? Anyway, because he disbelieved Jack's allegation that I recorded over the fence, he kept saying, well, you recorded over the fence, didn't you? And I said, I didn't. And I said, I can prove I didn't by looking at the video footage I took. You can see I didn't. His response was, well, you could have deleted the videos where you did. I mean, the whole interaction was like that. It was accusatory, it was twisting things around to make it sound like there's nothing. But that's my best example, because that's so inappropriate. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
I mean, so if I have the evidence, I'm guilty. If I don't have the evidence, I'm guilty. If there's evidence that doesn't suit them, I could have deleted it. I mean, it's not appropriate.
Yeah. Again, I don't know the full
of course
picture.
you don't. I know you don't. But
I'll pass on what's been said.
Yeah. I mean, just give
And
you
then-
examples of how I've been mistreated.
Sure.
I feel very, very bad about the SNT. I feel
When did
grieved
you
by
make that
their...
complaint about? Was it PC Trow?
Yeah, PC
Pro.
Pro. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
When did you make that complaint?
Back in November.
Okay, is that still ongoing?
Yeah. Yes. I haven't done it with a timely manner either. I've just got the response back from an investigation officer, and it's literally a pack of lies. The response I got back is literally one lie after another.
Okay.
I mean, it's proof. I mean, so in his response, he says, I admitted to recording over the neighbour's fence. I never did that. I categorically denied every time he said that. He says the reason he came in plain clothes was because he didn't want to alert my neighbour. Now that is untrue, because after seeing me, he went next door to my neighbour to talk to him. Now, if that was the case, that makes no sense. And I've got evidence he did that, because I have a rude text from Jack Connell saying, who are those two men in my front door? So, and we know he did it, and he said he was going to do it. So, the first sentence is a lie, and it gets worse from there. Not your problem. I'm just saying that I have very good reason to be very distrustful of their abilities and their competence.
Sure.
But if there's some way I can get the real police, you guys, to do this instead of them, I would like that.
Well, the trouble is that
Because
this
it
gets
falls under
dealt
a
with
neighbour
by
dispute.
Save the Neighbours team. Unfortunately, I'm a response officer.
Yeah.
I have to go to 999 calls.
Yeah.
I can't physically manage going to
Yeah.
999 calls and doing this. It just wouldn't work.
Yeah, but the SNT aren't fit for purpose is my problem.
Yeah, I mean that's something if they don't get moving, that's something you'll potentially have to make a complaint about.
I've done it.
Yeah, that's the only. I know it's hard, but
I've got 3 outstanding right now.
yeah,
because of like every instance where they've been involved, they've literally, measurably made the situation worse.
Yeah.
I mean, just last week, there was a package delivered here in error. We didn't get the opportunity to not accept it. It was just on the doorstep. We didn't want to take it down there. They didn't want to come here for obvious reasons. Sandra Wood from S&T came round. It should have been really simple. Here is package, take package, give package, done. But what happened was Charlotte, the wife, then used that opportunity to make up some nonsense about an alarm in our loft. Her duty at that point was to say, is there any immediate threat, is there any danger? No, not my problem. She did not do that. She took that complaint at face value. Nothing could be heard. She couldn't hear anything. She admits that nothing could be heard. Her story later was that, oh, it was a welfare check for neighbour next door, which doesn't make any sense, because if true, that is dereliction of her duty, because why would you waste time coming to see us when you've got a report from the immediate neighbour of an elderly frail lady or an alarm going off? I mean, it's a lie. It's ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
I mean,
There might be information that you're not privy to. I don't know.
Yeah, but her statements and her emails are in conflict with the recorded evidence I have about events. And then she comes back and says, I'm invading her privacy by recording audio. That's not, invading privacy is not a crime.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anyway, Michael, enough.
Anyway,
enough.
sorry.
He's
I'm wasting
just
some
got
time
other
now.
things to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No worries. We'll leave you to it. We'll update them anyway, so hopefully
thank
you should hear something soon, okay?
Thank you. I'm sorry to waste so much of your time.
That's
all
right.
I mean, so much to go through.
I know, it definitely sounds like it's a lot.
Can I have your glass of water before you go into another?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Alright?
Okay. Thanks for your time.
Have a good rest of
Have a
the
good
day.
day. Thank you. Bye.